Tomorrow I'm getting on a one-way flight of 550 miles to go pick up a 25-year-old car that I bought sight unseen to drive it 8 hours home. The car I'm going to buy is one of the most unique Toyotas that we never got here in the United States, and that's why I'm going to such lengths to go buy it. I'm currently sitting here in my garage with an open spot, which will be filled tomorrow, hopefully. The car that I'm going to buy is actually a 2001 Toyota Crown Athlete V Estate. That was a car that was never sold in the United States. The reason why this car is extremely special is because of what it has under the hood. It has a 1JZ GTE VVTi engine under the hood, which is the same engine that I have in this here drift car. This is an engine I am extremely familiar with, and I am a massive fan of that engine because it's been nothing but good to me in this car. They actually do make a Toyota Crown now, but it's completely different from the older Toyota Crowns, but they never offered the older Toyota Crowns here in the United States. This car was imported by a company called Japanese Classics out of Richmond, Virginia. They're a pretty reputable company. I've been following them for a very long time. This is the first time I've actually pulled the trigger and bought a car from them. The reason I'm buying a car is since I have a son now and I have a baby, this car right here, for some pretty obvious reasons, is not baby safe. It has a roll cage in the back. It's been in multiple crashes and accidents when I'm at the track. It is extremely modified. There is nothing on this car that I haven't touched. It's just not very street kid friendly. So the reason we're getting this Toyota Crown is that way I can kind of share my passion of cars with my son with a car that's a little safer, a little more kid friendly. So I can put him in the back seat, take him to school, take him wherever he needs to go in that car and not feel like he's gonna die like I would in this car. They only made 5,000 of the Crown Estate wagons with the 1JZ turbo engine combination. So it's a pretty rare car, and that's why I'm excited. The only downside is that they only made them in automatics. So I'm getting it as an automatic, but my plan is to make it a manual over the winter, and I might be borrowing some parts from this bad boy. So that's the story of what I'm doing tomorrow and kind of the why I'm doing tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, my flight leaves from Boston at 7 a.m. I will have to leave my house at about 3:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. So not excited for that. Plan is to get there in the morning, check out the car, make sure everything's good, and basically just drive it home. The drive from Richmond to where I live near Providence, Rhode Island is not a fun drive. I'm gonna have to drive through Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. I'm driving close to Philadelphia and New York City. It's a pretty crappy drive. Basically, I'm just going to cannonball home as fast as I can once I get the car. If anything exciting happens, I'll be sure to document that. I'm going to try to get a good night's rest tonight, even though it's going to be tough knowing I'm getting up at 3:30 in the morning. And we're going to go pick up a new car tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting. I'm excited about it, and a new project. So it's going to be exciting to get like a new blank canvas of a car to start building, and I like building cars. It's fun. I haven't really had the chance to do that in a while, so all goes well. We're going to be driving a 25-year-old Japanese import car with the steering wheel on the right side. And I'm going to add also, I've literally never driven with a steering wheel on the right side. So that's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a little bit of learning for that. If all goes well, I'll get home tomorrow night and fill this spot right in front of me that is empty in my garage with a Toyota Crown Estate wagon. So stick with me. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully it's not too eventful, but hopefully it's exciting enough where you guys want to watch it. Let's cut to the travel. So I just got off the plane. We're waiting. They're supposed to come pick me up in my car, hopefully. So yeah, they'll be here in about 10 minutes or so. We'll just hang out until then. Bought it. The swing fans are going. My headache's starting to go away, so we feel a little better now that we ate something. Traffic looks bad. Well, it should be an 8-hour drive home. It's looking like it's going to be a 9.5, 10-hour drive home. So that stinks. We got to get this thing home. So really no other way to go about it. So we're just going to keep driving and try to avoid the traffic as best we can and try to stay on the right side of the lane that we can. Just driving a car with the steering wheel on the right, it's a little tricky to keep yourself lined up with the line just because it's not what you're used to. So I noticed myself kind of veering a little further left than I should be. But it's practice. It's literally the first time I've ever driven a car with a steering wheel on the right. This car drives amazingly. It's super smooth. There's tons of visibility. It looks cool. The air conditioning works great. The Japanese radio works great as long as I'm up to 90 FM. We've listened to some weird NPR station that has some random music sometimes. Oh, we also don't know I don't know how fast I'm going half the time. I know 100 miles an hour is 62 miles an hour. 100 kilometers per hour is 62 miles an hour. Other than that, I'm basically just basing my entire judgment of speed off of that one conversion I know and how fast the people around me are going. So I'm just trying to not be the fastest person. Right now, my ETA to get home is 9 o'clock at night, and I left the house at 3:30 this morning. So I'm really just trying to get home as fast as I can. I still have some fresh attitude, and I am ready to drive. So we're gonna drive as much as we can until we get sick of it, stop, get gas, get some drinks, get some snacks, and then get going on the road. But for now, I just want to cover as much distance as I possibly can. That way we can just get closer to home because I got a long way to go, and it's gonna be a long day. But at least it's exciting because I'm driving my new car, and this hot car cruises nice on the highway. So the visibility is awesome. This is just a really nice car. And even just I parked it when I went to grab lunch. It looks so freaking cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to have this at my house, be able to take it out whenever I want, build it, do some awesome stuff with it. Yeah, I'm just excited. So that's enough of me rambling.
A few moments later.
We're currently stuck on the side of the road. The car shut off. I don't know why. I'm gonna give it a second to cool down and then hopefully start it back up. We're in a fucking terrible spot. I really wish I could just go a little further. This isn't good. This is not good. It's not good. An update. I'm sweating my ass off. It's really hot outside today, and we don't have much water left. But I called AAA. I'm a platinum member. My tow is going to be covered, so that's awesome. I'm going to be towing it back to Japanese Classics where I bought the car. Spoke on the phone with them. They're ridiculously helpful. I know the car broke, and it seems like it might look bad on them, but these are 25-year-old cars. This shit happens. They literally picked me up from the airport with it, so they had no reason to believe this car would ever break. So let me just say that they're fine. They didn't do anything wrong. We're bringing it back to Japanese Classics, and we're gonna drop the car off there, and then they're gonna fix it. Oh, I gotta close the hood. It's just glaring the sun directly in my face. We're gonna bring this car back to Japanese Classics and drop it off, and then I go back to the airport and I fly home instead. And they're gonna keep the car and basically keep it until they can figure out what's wrong with it and fix it. And at that point, they will then ship it up to me. They offered to fix the car and ship it up to me and not charge me anything. So really thankful for them looking out for me. They stand behind their shit. So I mean, this is a really unfortunate situation, but it's completely out of my control, completely out of their control, and they're handling it literally the best that they can. So we're just gonna hang out here and sweat. I already had a tick crawling up my leg, so I can't really go outside and wait on the other side of the guardrail, which sucks. So we're just gonna try not to bake in the sun. So yeah, all right, that's my update for now. It's not good. Not good. It's not that fun, but it could be worse. It could always be worse. Oh, as I see horseflies. Could always be worse as I see horseflies coming towards me. That's okay. I've had an eventful day. So, going to pick up the Toyota Crown did not go as planned. As you can see, probably one of the clips of me talking really positively about it. It isn't. It's still a nice car, but it didn't make it home. I picked up the car. We drove about 2 hours from Richmond, Virginia. I made it into Maryland, and at some point, it just started sputtering, and eventually just kaput, shut off, crank, wouldn't start, dead on the road. That's it. That's what happened. We didn't make it home. It's still my car. I still want it. It's still an awesome car. The people over Japanese Classics are absolutely amazing. I literally can't speak any more highly of them. I got the car picked up by a tow truck, brought back to Japanese Classics. I'm a AAA Platinum or whatever member. I didn't have to pay $1 for the tow, so that's nice. They towed the car right back to their headquarters, to their shop, and dropped it off there. Plan is that they're going to fix it. They're going to figure out what's wrong with it, and then they're going to ship it up to me. So they took really good care of me. I have nothing good things to say about them. They didn't have to, but they helped me out when I was completely stranded. So awesome. Good on them. Yeah, we got picked up by the tow truck. I was about 2 hours away from Japanese Classics at that point. Drove me back to Japanese Classics. A long day. I got there just after 5 o'clock when they closed, but they were still there, luckily. They even gave me a ride to my hotel that I'm staying at before I fly home tomorrow. So this was entirely out of their control. How could they have known that this car was just going to go bad? They literally took this car to pick me up from the airport, and I drove it home. We had a good 40-minute test drive on this car, and it was flawless for that whole 40-minute test drive. So there's no way they could have known. This is just the stuff that happens when you have a 25-year-old car imported from Japan. Stuff happens, and it just is what it is. And luckily, they were more than willing to help me remedy the situation. So I'm here in the airport Sheraton, right near Richmond Airport. It sucks because now I'm not getting home tonight. I don't get to see my son or my wife tonight. But here's the thing. I was going to get home probably at 11 o'clock at night anyways, at the rate things were going. I would have had to drive through some crappy cities. I'm not super mad about it. I'm a little relieved that I don't have to drive through these cities now in this right-hand drive car that I've never driven before. It could have been so much worse because I could have broken down in the middle of New York City, could have broke down in Baltimore or something like that. Luckily, I was on the side of the highway, but I wasn't in the middle of a city, which would have been massively inconvenient for me to break down in. So yeah, I got to the hotel. They gave me a ride to the hotel. I got here and showered because it was hot today, and I was sweating waiting for the tow truck driver to arrive. Went down to the hotel bar, ate a burger, drank some beer to drink my sorrows away. It is almost 8 o'clock, and I've been up since 3:30 this morning, so I've had a long freaking day. I want to go to bed. I also have to be at a flight tomorrow at 6:30. They have a shuttle from the airport, so that's no big deal. It could be worse. It wasn't really good, but it could always be worse. So yeah, I'm still thankful. So they're going to fix the car, and then they're going to reach out to me when they're able to ship it, and I'll have the car. So I don't know when it's going to end up to me up in Massachusetts. I need to get some sleep, and we're going to get back on the airplane tomorrow and go home and see my wife and son. I'm excited about that. I definitely wish I would have got home tonight, but considering everything that happened today, it's not all bad. It could have been much worse. So good night. I'm going to bed.
It's 5 a.m. on day 2 of my trip. Have some sleep, go to the airport. I have a connecting flight, which kind of stinks. Hopefully that doesn't get messed up. Yeah, fly from Richmond to Washington, D.C., then Washington, D.C. to Providence, and I'll be home. But hopefully that goes better than yesterday did. But yeah, we're going to leave the hotel, get on the airport shuttle, go to security, and be ready to go. Sorry, I'm tired. But it feels good to actually sleep because I knocked out last night.
this whole ordeal's over. I'm back in my garage, and I still have an empty spot in my garage, which we were hoping to fill by the end of this video, but shit happens. Sometimes things don't go as planned, and it turns into quite the adventure. Not a very fun adventure. Hey, it's an adventure nonetheless. Things happen. It could have been worse. Tried to make the best of it. So drove for about 2 hours. I made it about 2 hours into Maryland, and I was just on a side road, and I noticed I felt a little sputter, and I'm like, huh, that's a little weird. That might not be good. And got on an uphill and kind of like gave it some gas to see if it would kind of like, maybe there was just a weird spot in the throttle where it was sputtering. I didn't really know. It was just something felt quite a little bit off. Gave it gas, floored it. It like jumped up in revs, kind of went, but then just died out again. So then I realized that something's probably really wrong. And I tried to coast until like a side street, but ended up just shutting off entirely before I got to that side street. I was able to pull over into the breakdown lane. I was in a pretty terrible spot. I was on basically divided 2-lane road with some stoplights, and the speed limit was about 55 miles an hour. So it was kind of like a secondary highway, not a primary highway. Realized at that point that it would crank, not start. It felt like a fuel issue. Something was up with the fuel. I think I called them, said, hey, my car's dead. And they're like, oh shit, that's not good. What can we do to help you? And I said, I have AAA. I called AAA for a tow. They told me, hey, just get it back to the shop and we'll take care of it from there. So I called AAA to get a tow. I am a AAA Platinum member, which I actually never used yet. I was about 80 miles or so from the Japanese Classics at that point. They called a tow truck driver. It took about an hour for the tow truck driver to get there once they called him, and it was hot. It was like an 85-degree day, and it was sunny. I was kind of in a precarious spot on the side of the road, so it wasn't really the safest feeling place in the world. Luckily, it's right-hand drive, so I'm sitting on the right side away from traffic, and I can open the door and get some air, so I guess that was a benefit. I called him, asked him, I said, hey, like, is it all right if I get it back to you and you guys can fix it and I'll just pay to ship it? And they even offered to cover the cost of the shipping as well. So they took care of me. They're amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about them. There's no way they could have predicted something like this happening. Like, they picked me up from the airport. I did like a 40-minute test drive in the car. They were driving it around the lot and stuff like that. They put over 100 miles on every car that they drive. They went through the car. It was just a freak thing that happened. And with 25-year-old cars, this is the kind of stuff that happens. Luckily, it got onto the tow truck without any real issues because it is lowered and it's just a long car. So I was worried getting it on the flatbed would be a hassle. The tow truck driver really liked the car, so that's always fun. Actually, I don't think I got his name, but he was a cool guy. He thought the car was pretty cool. He took some pictures of it to send his buddies. It was about a 2-hour drive back to Japanese Classics. We ended up getting there just a little after 5, and they closed at 5 on Saturdays, but luckily they were still there. Luckily, when we dropped the car off there, it was still a crank no start. I was really worried that when we got the car there, it was just going to fire right up, and that was going to make diagnosing this so much more difficult. So, and the salesman, Dan, which was super helpful in this whole process, offered to give me a ride back to the airport, which I ended up getting a night at the hotel right across from the airport. I was able to get actually a flight home to Providence, but I did have a connecting flight, which sucks, but my first flight was at 6:30. I ended up getting back in Providence around 10, so it wasn't bad. I ate a cheeseburger at the hotel bar and watched the World Cup and drank a couple beers to kind of wash down the sorrow of my very eventful day, which, don't get me wrong, it could have been so much worse. I could have broke down in the middle of New York City. I could have broken down halfway and not been able to get the car back to them. So it could have been worse. I'm thankful. It wasn't very convenient. It kind of sucked, but again, it could always be worse. I feel like I made the best of the situation. Yeah, things could have just been so much worse. So I'm thankful for everything going about as smooth as it could go, considering I was stranded on the side of the road 8 hours from my house. When you put it that way, it sounds pretty terrible. If you want to subscribe to see part 2 of when the car actually shows up and like a quick first drive and first impressions of the car, well, I guess second drive and second impressions of the car. I have a camping trip in 2 weeks where I actually planned on using that car to camp out of it. But yeah, that's my story of flying to Virginia to try to buy a car and drive it home. Didn't quite make it. Hopefully the next video I put up that is car related will be with my new car. They're going to ship it up here, ship it right to my house. So yeah, next video will have the car and you guys can go over that and take a look at it. I'm really excited. I absolutely love the car. It exceeded my expectations. So I'm really happy to get it. I still, obviously, it's my car. They just have it now and they're fixing it for me. Stick around for part 2 when I actually get the car and give you guys a little tour of the car. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys at least found a little bit of humor in my situation, which thank you everybody. Please subscribe and watch the next one. It could have been worse. It was still an interesting experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But bye everybody. Please stick around for the next one. Leave a like, subscribe. I gotta finish talking. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm so tired. I got up at like 4 this morning too. I'm running low on sleep at this point.